Hey guys, this is Brad with Lucky 7 Racing and the Cars, Coffee, and Donuts Automotive event that happens in San Diego, California. And I'm back doing another vehicle review. If you guys remember the Corvette Z06 that I had about a year and a half ago, well now I'm in a Camaro SS, which is also available through the Hertz Rental Car Program. This is any SS that you can rent from them. This is actually a collaboration with them and Hendrick Motorsport, the same Hendrick Motorsport that's so dominating in NASCAR, and they've created about 200 of these that are available throughout the United States that you can rent. Now, not only is the SS available, you can also get the Camaro ZL1. Now, being in San Diego, and with the horsepower numbers that they were printing, I would have loved to have gotten a hold of a ZL1. But for some reason, Hertz felt that the vehicle wouldn't have been good enough for this market, which really doesn't make any sense. Because I looked in Los Angeles, I looked in San Diego, and the ZL1 wasn't available, only the SS. In fact, the closest place you can get a ZL1 from is from Phoenix, Arizona, which, I don't know about you, but the car market to me in Phoenix, Arizona isn't exactly all that great compared to what's here in Southern California. I mean, I could be wrong, but I'd rather see the ZL1 here. But for now, we've got the Camaro SS. We're going to take it out for a drive. We're going to take a look at what it can do and see how much that we've enjoyed it over the past 3-4 days. So first things first, let's see what we got. For a car that weighs 4,000 pounds and it has about 480 horsepower. At least that's what they've put in print. So Hertz, combined up with Hendrick Motorsport, says that this is about a 480 horsepower car. Based on what you just saw there, that's probably to the crank. It's actually more like a 450 horsepower car based on what I can feel and from my experience over the years with drag racing and road racing. Now the Corvette I had with the right set of tires on it was probably an 11-second drag car. This, with the right set of tires on it in ideal conditions, it's probably right around the same, maybe like a upper 11-second run, 11.8, 11.7, somewhere in there, maybe a little bit quicker on an ideal day. Now that's not bad for what you get in the package that you can rent for $100 a day with unlimited mileage. With the Corvette, I was actually limited to 75 miles a day. So you can actually take this car, rent it in Southern California, and if you wanted to, go up to, say, Fontana and go to a track day. Or go up to, say, Buttonwillow and go to a track day, or maybe even go out to Pomona if they're doing a streetcar day and go take it down 1,320 feet and go have some fun with your friends. But for now, we're just cruising around here in San Diego and enjoying it. I finally have some decent weather today. The last couple of days, we had some rain, and I wasn't able to really experience this car for all that it's worth. And it has different driving modes and different driving options that allow you to experience all those different features. One of which is, of course, touring mode, which is a simple, just drive it down the road, nice and easy, and you can drive the car to work, you can drive it to the store, and you don't have to worry about some of the other features that the vehicle has. Then you have sport mode, and sport mode actually picks up the shift pattern a little bit quicker. It gives you a little bit more of a firmer feel in the steering, and it gives you a little bit more of a firmer suspension, so you get more feedback as you're driving down the road. And of course, there's one that's my favorite, which is track mode. Now, track mode firms up the suspension fully. It firms up your steering so that you have full feedback when you're going into the corners, and it also adjusts the shift points a little bit higher in the RPMs, and it also gives the shift points an instant reaction, whereas when you're in touring mode and sport mode, it's a little slower. So it's something that I like because I like that feel, I like the instant reaction to it. Now with the 6.2-liter V8 that this vehicle has in it, which, like I said, it's about 480 horse from what Hertz is saying, which, you know, I think is more like 450 once you get through the drive line. You're actually combined with a 10-speed automatic. Well, it's actually a manual automatic. If you've noticed, I'm clicking on the paddles here to be able to upshift and downshift as I go through the gears. If you wanted to just put it in drive and let it go, you can click the stick shift over and leave it alone and it drives. And eventually, you get up into the upper gears when you're cruising down the road. And I've actually had it in 10th gear going down the freeway and seems to enjoy that right around 70-ish mile an hour. If you're around 65, which is the posted speed limit here in Southern California on the freeways, it doesn't really like that gear, so it's better off in like 7th or 8th. But with the manual transmission, I can put it in whatever whatever system I want, kick it over to the side. If I want to upshift on the stick, I can push up or push back to downshift. Or like I said, I've got the paddles right here behind the steering wheel. Now the unique design that GM has put into the Camaro SS is that the paddles actually sit right behind the steering wheel, so that as you turn, the paddles turn with the wheel. You notice something with Ferrari specifically, they put the paddles more on the steering column for whatever reason. When you turn the steering wheel and you're trying to go into a corner, you have to reach in an odd way around behind the steering wheel to downshift or possibly to upshift. Whereas GM doesn't have that with the Camaro. And they had the same thing with the Corvette. And that actually comes from the Corvette racing program and what they learn at races like Daytona, Sebring, and some other events that they do with enduro racing through those programs. So this is definitely a plus where they've applied racing technology to what you can buy on the street. Now, everything you have here and everything you see here, you can get this at the car right from the dealer. There's really nothing beyond what you get from a normal Camaro SS on this car as far as the interior goes, with the heads-up display, the onboard diagnostic system. You've got full audio-visual right here in front of you. So most of it is pretty much unique to itself. The audio-visual display that's on this gives you full XM Sirius satellite radio. Of course, you have the sat-nav on here if you want to be able to find where you're going. So if you're not from the place that you've rented the car from, you can find your way around. And then, of course, you've got AM/FM stereo for your local stations. You can plug in a Bluetooth setup off of your phone. You can stream your music through it. And you've got a full digital display here. It's a great touchscreen system. And I can go through a bunch of different features for the vehicle as well. Ambient lighting, as far as the driving package that I want based on what the screen says here. And I can actually do it right here on the heads-up display in front of me, right between the gauges. So again, GM's done a really good job of giving you touchscreen features and ways to really know that what driving system you have it set up in and how you have it going down the road is going to be specific to the way you want to drive the car. So one of these is definitely something that I can see myself daily driving. I wouldn't want to put a lot of miles on it, but you could do it if you wanted to. I don't know if you can hear outside of me because I've got the windows up, but this car sounds like a true muscle car. 6.2 liter V8, it's naturally aspirated. The ZL1, of course, has the supercharger on it. So I believe this is the LT4 motor, and it gives you instant throttle response the second you put your foot down to the loud pedal. And it's a lot of fun when you do it, and enjoyable for anybody really who's a car person. Even if you're not a car person, you step on it, and with the added air intake system and the exhaust package that's on this, which is available through the GM Performance Parts catalog, they put those same parts on this vehicle. So you've got a good deep throaty muscle car sound. When you downshift at certain RPM, you get that good exhaust gurgle when you downshift. Everyone turns their heads, everyone looks. I've had a lot of people give me a thumbs up going down the road as I'm driving this car. People have stopped and looked at it. I had it at my Cars and Coffee event today. A lot of people were curious about it. Beautiful looking car on the outside. People were surprised that this is a rental car. This wasn't my own. And then they really took a closer look at it. I had some people sit in it. They really liked the interior and the way that it's laid out. You've got leather and suede throughout. You've got a nice steering wheel here that's designed for a different range size of people. With the steering wheel being flat on the bottom, it's easier to put your legs underneath here. I'm a pretty tall guy, so sometimes sitting in cars like this isn't exactly very easy. The seats themselves are bolstered well. They've got good lumbar support. Being 6'2" and just about 200 pounds, I'm comfortable in the car. Actually, I had a friend of mine, Sean Dove from EVOD Industries. Hi, Sean. He sat and went for a ride. Now, Sean's about 6'6", and at his size, he's at 250, 260. He sat comfortably in the passenger seat, and for being that tall of a person, he was able to fit in the car pretty well. So it's good to see that people of all sizes can fit in the vehicle and not have too many issues. I do knock GM for a couple of design features, though, within the car. If you notice right here, I can move through the different drive modes that I want on the vehicle. Touring mode, sport mode, track mode. There's even a snow and ice mode. There's also a traction control button to where I can turn traction control off if I wanted to. I don't recommend it with this because you've got plenty of power and you don't want the back end of this thing swinging around. Sitting right here next to that is the parking brake, not even an inch back. Now, I could see someone wanting to try and put the vehicle into a different drive mode and accidentally looking back and clicking the parking brake up. So I'm not about to try it, but just a heads up, it's something that is there, and it's not a real positive feature from what I'm showing or what I feel here with the vehicle. Another thing I don't really like is the center console display or design. for one, this is your storage right here. If you look and see how my arm is, I am kind of in a cattywampus way with my arm to make this go up and to reach in here. Now, if I'm driving down the road, if I have to reach in there to get something, I've got to really turn and move, and it's not real ideal. Now, being 6'2", I sit further back in the vehicle than someone who's, say, 5'5", 5'8", who may be a little bit more forward on the steering wheel. Well, at that point, you've really got to turn and reach back, and it's just not an ideal design for the car. But for now, we'll take it what we got and be happy with the fact that we're working with this. Now, this has been a great driving vehicle, especially for it being a muscle car. I mean, the fact that the thing weighs 4,500 pounds and some change with about 450, what they say 480 horsepower, it's got some get up. It definitely pulls well through the corners. I've got good grip with these tires, and I've got a lot of power here in this motor. I mean, it's something where the average driver or someone who may not necessarily be a car enthusiast, if you were to rent one of these, just based on the sound of the vehicle alone, you're really going to enjoy taking it out and driving around, showing off to your friends a little bit, take it to the local cars and coffee meet, take it to a track day if you're that kind of a guy. You want to go out and experience something that isn't in your own vehicle and you want to try something different. I definitely recommend renting one of these and giving it a shot. Now, $100 a day for one of these things really is not that much for what you're getting if you think about it, because the regular Camaro SS that Hertz actually offers is also $100 a day, but you don't get some of the unique features with the added intake system, the exhaust system, the unique yellow livery that's on the vehicle that of course includes Hendrick Motorsport and the Hertz logos, and a little bit of the different wheel and tire package that's on the vehicle with the 20-inch wheels and the Nitto tires that give you the great grip to the corners and through your straight line acceleration. So that in itself really is worth the extra, or really it's not extra. It's the same amount of money. So it's something to consider as you're looking at one of these online, because you can go right to Hertz.com, you can look the vehicle up. I believe it's available through their Dream Car collection. I don't think it's part of the Adrenaline Car collection. There's a little bit of a difference there between the two as far as how they classify each car. With the Corvette, that was part of, I think, the Dream Car collection, so this might be part of the Adrenaline collection because it's a muscle car, that's how they want to market it, which is fine. So it takes a little bit of searching, you can find it pretty easily. Now, the vehicle is actually up for a sweepstakes. They're actually going to pick 5 people to win one of these and actually get a VIP package out to North Carolina and do a track day with Will Byron and get to experience all that this car has to have at its full potential. So I'm actually in the sweepstakes. I hope I win, because I would love to have one of these for myself and just, track days, drag race days. I do a little bit of it all. So for me, it's really a complete package for a car guy that wants to experience everything that a muscle car has to offer. And then, of course, have a little fun with your buddies at the same time. So if you're thinking about that, go online to Hertz.com. You can see the sweepstakes. You can find these cars. You can find one at your local dealer, hopefully, depending on what city you're in. As I mentioned before, Hertz only has the SS in so many locations, and they have the ZL1 in limited locations. The SS's, of course, is a little bit more readily available. You can find them at most of the major airports from what I've seen around the United States. Whereas like the ZL1, I believe, including with Phoenix, it's only available in Texas, Florida, and Atlanta, which I'm not too sure why they chose those car markets over Southern California, but for some reason they felt that it was just a better way to go. Maybe someone can comment below and maybe let us know why the ZL1 didn't get brought out to Southern California here for the car market, because they say that's a 750 horsepower car. Now that's got the supercharger on it. It basically is the same motor that's in the Corvette. It's got a little bit of a different style to it with the front end and with some of the canards and some of the aero that's on the vehicle versus what's on the SS. So that stands out on its own. Whereas the SS is just a straightforward, balls to the wall muscle car. So if you're that kind of a guy, you're looking for a good muscle car to drive around in and enjoy on a Sunday, as I'm doing right now, either one of them would be great. This car's got a really good set of brakes on it to go with the wheel and tire package. It's a 4-wheel disc brake system, and I believe it's upgraded from what is the norm from the factory. And that's a little bit of part of what Hertz got when they teamed up with Hendrick Motorsports, was to give you a set of brakes that can actually hold better, so that when you go into a corner and you're hard on them, you're going to be able to slow down, and it's not going to hold you up, and you're not going to have any braking issues, and you won't have as much brake fade. Now, I haven't experienced that myself, so it's something that, if someone out there takes it to a track day and you push it a little bit, you might find out what the limits are between the brakes and the tires. I'm lucky today. It's 65 degrees outside. It's a nice, beautiful day in San Diego. Yesterday, it rained horribly, and it's uncommon for us to have rain here in Southern California. In fact, it was so bad, I had hail where I live. So that's not something that you would normally drive this car in. Even though it does have a snow and ice mode with its driving package, I don't recommend trying to drive in the wet or in the cold, because the back of this thing can get squirrely with the amount of horsepower and torque you're putting down. And you can end up having a pretty bad day if it gets loose on you, don't know how to control that. So keep that in mind when you rent one of these. I was fortunate to have a nice day today, and I was able to record the video and be able to drive it when it's in a more ideal condition. And hopefully it stays like that throughout the day here. I think it will. So far the clouds are kind of clearing out, so I've really been enjoying the car and all that it has to feature and all that it offers. I'm sure you will as well. So it's something that, you know, if you're thinking about it, watch this video, take a look at what's on the website, and go out and enjoy it. For now, this is Brad from Lucky 7 Racing and the Cars, Coffee, Donuts Automotive Events in San Diego. I gotta go. I'll see you guys at the racetrack.